thanks for joining me today. What I'd like to look at with you is how simple it is to get to where we want to get to. How simple it is to be able to be relaxed, regardless of what you're doing in life, regardless of how many things that you have to do. How simple it is just to find a different way of being, where you're not worried about stuff and you're not tormenting yourself by thinking about stuff from the past. So, simple but not easy. And that sounds like a bit of a contradiction, doesn't it? How can it be simple and not easy at the same time? It's simple because we just need to know this one thing. And it's obviously the theme that runs through all of my broadcasts, that all we really need to do is get the hang of living in the here and now, which means having your attention in the here and now and not lost in thinking. That's it. And everything else will follow from there. And so that's simple. We just need to do this one thing, but not easy, because again, has been the theme throughout these broadcasts, it's not easy because we've been in the habit of giving our attention to whatever thoughts are appearing in our mind right now. And then the flavour of that thinking determines how you're feeling right now. And so what we've been looking at are techniques to help us try and hang on to being in the present moment. And I really do realise how difficult that is when we've had such a habit, an ingrained habit of constantly paying attention to thinking. So the simple answer is that we just need to be here, but without paying attention to thinking. And it occurred to me that it would be really useful to have a technique for people, pretty much everybody really, me included at times, when it's really hard to concentrate, when it's really hard to stop paying attention to the pictures that appear in your mind or whatever thoughts appear in your mind. So I was reading a book which kind of led me towards this, and so I've come up with this, just a slight variation on paying attention to your breath and doing counting, but one which might help us just be able to stay in the here and now a bit longer. So I'd like to give it a go with you. So if you'd like to sit comfortably, if your feet are near the floor, then have them both feet flat on the floor. Check your waistband that it's free. You can undo your belt like I'm doing and pop the top button of your jeans. Just rest, so that when you rest back you're pretty upright. You might need a cushion, and let your hands just fall wherever they're comfortable, so that you can just put your body in a position where it feels comfortable, that you can perhaps let go of it without falling one way or the other. Then you won't have to maintain that. And then close your eyes, just to remove the distraction of the visual element, and just come to a place where you can notice your breathing. And what we're going to do this time is that as we're breathing in, we're going to just count silently to ourselves 1. That's just the first in-breath, we're going to count 1. And then the first out-breath, we're going to count 2. Next in-breath, 3. Next out-breath, 4. So we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to number 9, which will be an in-breath. When we get to 9, then we're going to come back 8 as we breathe out. And then 7 breathing in, 6 breathing out. So I don't know if I've managed to make that sound more complicated than it is, but we're just going to count sequentially on each in-breath and each out-breath. So let's just make a start, and I'll count out loud just to help us through for the first few rounds, and then we'll do it silently together. So just checking in again then that you're comfy. You can let go of all the, 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 So on this next in-breath, just count 1 to yourself. And as you breathe out, 2. And breathing in, 3. Breathing out, 4. Breathing in, 5. Breathing out, 6. In, 7. Out, 8. In, 9. Out, 8. In, 7. Out, 6. In, 5. Out, 4. In, 3. Out, 2. In, 1. And then we would go out 2 and we go back up again. So that was just a bit of a go at it. And of course there may already have been some comments arising in the mind to say, well, what's the point of this, or this is stupid, or I don't like this, or whatever the thoughts are, particularly the ones around I like this or I don't like this. Because as soon as that I don't like this thought crops up in your mind, then you think, well, I'm not going to carry on with it because I don't like it. So I would just ask you to just put to one side those likes or dislikes and just stick with it. Because it's not via thinking that you're going to get to this place of peace and quiet and calm. Because this feeling of being relaxed here in the here and now is the absence of thinking. It's not that we can do more thinking in order to feel relaxed. And you know that already anyway. So I'd like to give it another go, and we'll do it for longer, and I'll maybe just do the numbers, and just for you to know whether you're breathing in or breathing out. But all the breathing ins are the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and all the breathing outs are the even numbers, 8, 6, 4, 2. So let's start again, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. And if we just stop there. So obviously as you can open your eyes if you like, just for a moment. Obviously, because you have to know what the count is, whether you're breathing in, you're counting 1, and then breathing out, you're counting 2. Your mind has to stay here. It has to be present throughout each breath to know what the count on the next number is. So although all we're doing is counting up to 9 and then back down to 1 again, it just really means that you have to be here. And if you lost track during any of that, even with me doing the counting with you, it will be because some thought appeared in your mind, some thought occurred to you, and it took all of your attention away. And that's what we're trying to overcome by doing the counting, so that we focus our mind in this one place, that we choose to do that, so that we start to be able to take back control, take back free will over what is going on in our mind. over where we place our attention, so that as we get better at doing this, we can get to place our attention just into this feeling of being here now, which has with it every time a feeling of being relaxed and at peace. So let's have another try, and I'll tell you when to go, but I'm going to leave you to do the counting to yourself. And let's go for 3 minutes, which may seem like a long time, and you will get lost in that time. When you get lost, just, if you think you know roughly where you were, don't just, carry on from that number. If you think you're around 6, and if you can remember you were breathing out, then count the next one as 5. And if you've got no idea, just come back to number 1 and breathe in, and just take it again from there, because it doesn't matter where you are in the counting when you come back to it. It's just that you put your attention, your focus back in this little method. So don't worry if you get lost, and just come back to any number you like the sound of, and just carry on from there. And I'll let you know when 3 minutes are up, and then you'll have a look to see how you got on, but more importantly, how are you feeling? So if you've had your eyes open, then close them again. Just find your breath, and on the next in-breath, just count 1, and away you go. One more minute left. So carry on breathing, but just in your natural rhythm, but you can let go of the counting. And before you open your eyes, but without saying anything to yourself, just feel into the direct knowing of how you feel right now. Just feel it. You've just been trying to stay in the here and now for 3 minutes. How has that left you feeling? And then open your eyes now when you're ready. So when we begin with this practice of turning our attention into the here and now, we're really just trying to catch a glimpse of what it feels like in the space between two thoughts, if you like. Because when we are just lost in thinking, there's no gap in that constant stream of thinking all day long, and you know what that feels like. So all we're trying to do is just to prise open a space between two thoughts and just taste what that feels like. Obviously not by thinking about it, but by just being here, so that you just notice how it feels to be in the here and now. This simple but not easy thing. So you've done lots of things in your life that weren't easy. So the fact that this isn't easy either doesn't mean that you can't do it. So keep on coming back to it. If you feel there's something here, then really put your attention in this direction, and the more that you do that, the quicker your progress will be. So good luck with that. Hope that was okay. It'd be really nice to have a comment from you as to how you got on with this, because this is the first time I've done that with anyone before. So it'd be great to know how you got on with it. And I hope you can join me next week for some more mindfulness. Thank you. Bye-bye.